Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a while, but today we are going to be reviewing the movie Firebreak on Netflix. The movie that annoyed me to the ends of the world and back. Let's talk about it. Okay, so Firebreak is a Spanish movie from Spain. And this movie centers around a family who just experienced the loss of their husband, father, brother, uncle. And the woman and her daughter, they live in these woods, right? And they have gone back to this house. I'm unsure if this is their main home, but they've went back there to this home along with the husband's, the person who's passed away, his brother and sister-in-law and their nephew, and their son, to pack up some stuff and leave. Now, in the midst of this, there suddenly starts to be things falling from the sky. Initially, they're like, is that snow? What is that? And then they realize, no, it's not snow. It's actually ashes. Turns out the forest is on fire. But guess what? They don't decide to leave. They decide, hey, we got to stay here and pack up some stuff. Now, I am just saying, y'all got two kids with you. Like, forget the fact that y'all are just being stupid right now, right? Like, you have two children with you and you're like, hey, doesn't matter. We are going to just still stay here and do this thing, regardless of how dangerous this is. I don't know if they've ever experienced fire before, I've ever seen the news before, but fires spread very rapidly. And I don't think that that's a chance that you should be taking. Anywho, they take that chance. At some point, I just have to mention this, though it really doesn't have much relevance, but the little girl whose father has just passed away, her cousin is there with her. They seem to be about the same age. They're fairly young, but still old enough to understand certain things, right? And I guess they're going through the house and she finds, I think it's some binoculars or something like that, right? And her cousin is like, oh no, those are mine. I'm the one who found them. And I'm just like, what? Little boy. First of all, this is not even your house. So nothing in this house is yours. Second of all, my dad just died. And this is how you're acting towards me? That's how he's acting towards his cousin whose father just died. This is not even his home. And he's like, I found it. It's mine. Nothing in here is yours, you little brat. But anyway, so at some point, I forget why, but the daughter gets upset with her mom and she runs off. And the aunt, she sees this and she's like, oh, let me go talk to her. And the mom is like, no, just leave it alone, right? You would think, oh, she's going to go talk to her. No, she doesn't go talk to her. She was just like, yeah, no, leave it alone. That's it. Nobody goes and talks to this little girl. They also have a neighbor. And he seems to be, I guess, a bit friendly, but I guess still kind of keeps to himself or whatever. The husband's brother kind of makes fun of him at some point because he comes by and he's like, after they're done loading up everything or packing away everything, and he asks them if if there's anything that he can help them with, just let him know. And the brother is like, oh, now you want to ask that? And I was just like, I know that's probably meant to be a funny thing, but to be honest, I was like, first of all, he doesn't need to help you with anything. He saw y'all. He's like, hey, if you need anything, let me know. He's not obligated to help you with anything. So the little attitude that you just spat out there about, oh yeah, now you want to ask, please miss me with that. Anyways, at some point, they realize that the daughter is missing and now it's go time. Well, they're ready to go, right? And also the fire is getting, it's it's getting more pertinent for them to go, right? But they can't find the daughter, and they're like running around trying to find her, blah, blah, blah. They call the cops. And of course, the cops go on a search. And in the midst of this, the neighbor, the same creepy neighbor, I guess, as you could say, is like, yeah, I saw her, but she seemed fine. And so I asked her if she wanted to come back because there's a fire. And she said no. And so I left her there. Now, one could argue, and also the parents, I mean, her mom and, the uncle, the aunt, they were very upset because they were like, oh, why did you leave my daughter out there? How could you leave a child out there? And in my head, I'm like, sure, but at the same time, right? It's not his kid. Like, the most he could do is be like, hey, little girl, come with me, come back home. It's very unsafe. But he can't grab her up because, as you will see throughout the rest of the movie, these people love to jump to conclusions. I'm not saying that they're bad conclusions, but they kind of like to jump to conclusions. And I feel like they would have, like, if he brought her back, they would have accused him of like dragging her against her will and whatever. You know what I mean? And so I don't even know if that would have worked out great for him. But long story short, this man becomes the villain of the story. There's a lot of things that's making him look suspicious. They suspect him. The girl's bracelet is in his car. Mind you, before they even find the girl's bracelet in his car, they're like, hey, I want to check your house, right? And so he's like, okay, but acting a little bit weird about it. He walks them through the house, and then they get to this door, and, she's like, open the door. He's like, nah, I don't want to open the door. He's like, open the door. And pretty much ends up opening the door. There's really nothing behind there. Of course, she thinks that her daughter was there. But yeah. And so he's like, okay, let's go. We're going to get in the car. Let's go look for her, right? And that is when they see the bracelet, and the mom is like, yeah, no, something is off. I want to go back in the house. I don't know if this was before or after she checked the door. Either way, they go back in the house, and they end up tying him to the chair. They take his phone, and I believe they find like a video of him like digging up something, or like digging like what seems to be a grave in the ground. And it turns out it's like on the video that it's not that. He's just laid himself in there. He's doing whatever weird ritual. Also turns out at some point they find out that her husband who passed away, I'm guessing he was sick. And the neighbor, I don't know what he does. I don't know if he specializes in some drugs. I don't know if he deals drugs, whatever drugs he deals with, right? He gave them to her husband so that he could be at peace, I guess, with dying, because she kind of makes it a point earlier on that he didn't want to fight anymore. He didn't even try. And she's very upset with that. And the movie seems to want us to see that, oh, it's because, he was at peace now. And so that being said, now they tie him to the chair, and now y'all committing a crime because y'all have no idea if this man is guilty or not. Then they go and they go out, looking for the daughter. I believe the son the son leaves the house, and I'm like, one child already left the house unsupervised, and now your mom with you in the house, and she not making sure you don't leave the house unsupervised. I don't know. But anyway, he leaves the house. He goes into the neighbor's home, and the neighbor is like, hey, come in, right? Like through the door. And he's like, untie me, unties him. And then like the uncle and the mom, they come into the house and they're like, oh, let him. Oh, the mom. Oh my gosh, right? She sees or hears like her nephew behind there, but because she doesn't want to let the guy out, she doesn't say anything to her brother. But sooner than later, her brother realized, what, he's in there, open the door, let them out, because she has the key. And she's like, I don't want to do that. But she ends up doing it. And I'm like, lady, so you lost your daughter. You so badly want to keep this man locked up that you're willing, and you think that he's dangerous, but yet you're willing to have your nephew inside of there with him. It makes absolutely no sense. But anyways, she ends up letting go. And then because he's like, I want to get out of this house, he has like the knife that he's, or the gun or whatever it is that he's holding to the nephew's like neck or head. And he's like, don't come near me, don't come near me. And like drags him to the car, like to their car to like drive away. And he takes the nephew into the car with him. And at that point, I was kind of like, man, I get that you're using him as like a block so that they don't come and attack you. And I didn't really feel like he was going to do anything to them. However, I was just like, why did you need to take him into the car with you? Like at that point, you know what I mean? Like you could have used him as a block to get into the driver's side, right? And then that would have been it. Like you didn't have to take him into a car because now you're kidnapping, right? Like you could have been innocent. You could have been innocent, but now you're kidnapping. So that doesn't make much sense. But anyways, he drives off. And they're like, no, let him go, let him go. And then the movie kind of does this thing where you feel, oh, is he like actually, like, did he actually do something? But then they drive down the road and he forces the kid out. He's like, get out the car. The kid is like, what? Like, as if he's confused, like, yo, get out the car. But too little too late. By the time he gets out of the car, the family has caught up to him. And, you know, they take him and they beat him up and all kind of stuff. And they do give us like a flashback, right? So they actually, I believe it was 2 flashbacks. One flashback was them showing us that the neighbor actually did see the girl in the forest. And, you know, she was going there to like, I guess, put a picture of her and her father in whatever cabin they had back there. And, you know, he saw her, he spoke to her. It seemed like an innocent interaction. He did ask her, oh, do you want to come back with me? And, you know, she said no. And then he gets back in his car and he drives off. The second flashback was when she was inside the cabin and all of a sudden she hears these something running around the cabin, right? And at that point, I'm like, this could be a fall off, right? Could this be like a deer and they're trying to make us think that it was him that came back, or maybe he really did come back, right? After all of the movie trying to make him seem not innocent, but not guilty, or kind of making it like, okay, like these people are just crazy and they're blaming him. Maybe he actually did do something. But okay, I'll get to it. And so they beat this man up, right? And I forget, they're in the forest. The forest is aflame now. And they've left him there to like, I guess, die in the forest. And at some point, they hear, like, they're calling the girl's name, and at some point the neighbor hears her yelling. And it's at this point that we know that he ain't do nothing. So he runs towards her voice. Turns out she was in, I don't know how she got there. I don't know why she was there in the first place. But she's in like this deep grave. I'm like, girl, you should have been inhaling lots of smoke by now. I don't know. I guess the excuse is because she's in the depths of wherever. But he helps her out, right? And the mom had actually heard her as well. And oh my gosh. She goes towards her voice. She sees him helping the girl out and that he's got her out. And then she's like, no, and pushes him off of her. I don't know if she threw him back in the thing or she beat him up or whatever, but she's knocked him unconscious, right? And pretty much the girl explains at some point that she was running from a bear. A freaking bear. And the mom is like, are you sure? She's like, yeah. The neighbor didn't do anything to you? She's like, no. Right? She's like, just no. Mind you, you just saw your mom render this man unconscious. And I mean, I guess she's out of it. She's a little girl. But the fact that she didn't even look stunned in the least was baffling to me. But, anyways, she learns that the neighbor truly didn't do a thing, right? Does she turn around to get this man out? No. But why would she? Because all of this time, y'all been doing illegal stuff to this man. Y'all probably want him to die, no? So, anyways, she takes her back to the home with the uncle, right? And the uncle, and they're like, okay, we're gonna take you to the hospital, blah blah blah. The uncle runs in the house to get something. At this point, he had sent his wife and his son home. Finally, and so while the uncle is in the house, she's like to the little girl, making sure she's okay, and she says, "I'll be right back." Blah blah blah. She grew a conscience and she went back to get this man. And so she goes back to get him. She drags him out. And then, like, I guess we cut to the hospital. The uncle has taken his niece to the hospital. We see the cops talking to the man in the hospital and asking him questions and all of that. But the mom is not there. So then it tries to make you seem like, oh my God, maybe he was evil, or did he take revenge because of what she did to him? Like, we will never know, right? Like, will we find out? But my thing is also like, how did they know to go to this man and to question him? Right. But then I realized that when they were in the house, they kind of did radio the police, and maybe they did question him, and because they were asking him, how did he get the scratches, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, a bear. Right. And I'm just like, man, this whole bear thing is getting on my last nerve. So we cut back to the forest. And so we see the mom, and she's pretty much just like, wandering around in the forest, and she hears a growl, and she turns around, and it's a bear, a real life actual bear. And I'm pissed off because I didn't want the bear to be real, to be quite honest with you. But they do a thing where you think, oh my gosh, did the bear maul her? Is she dead? No, the bear just turns around and walks back into the fire for some odd reason. And then emergency comes, and he's like, oh, they're like, you can't be here. Or are you the woman with the missing daughter? She's at the hospital, blah, blah, blah. And they take her there, and pretty much the movie ends. And I am very disappointed because I felt like I wasted my time. There was a bunch of people doing a bunch of stupid stuff in this movie, all for it to kind of lead up to a bunch of nothing. And I understand that, the movie is called Firebreak. I feel like, it's a point of like, you just lost your husband, your daughter went missing, there's a fire, this neighbor seems creepy. All of this culmination of all of these things is making you break. But I wish it was done better. And I don't know because how it could be done better, just because I understand that the point of the movie is not to make the neighbor the villain, right? But I get that it's like, look what people turn into when like something, there's this weight on them, when everything just like implodes, right? Look what somebody can she turned into the villain when like she thought somebody else was the villain. I get it, but I just feel like it could have been done better, and I'm just slightly annoyed with it. But anyways, that was Firebreak on Netflix. If you want to check it out, I wouldn't say it's a trash movie. I just wanted so much more out of it. If you watched this movie, did you enjoy it? And if you didn't enjoy it, what do you think that they could have done differently? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.